how Kerala has made history yet another time.
Chaos in Kerala Assembly. Chief Minister declares Kerala extreme poverty free.
To Kerala, Chief Minister Vajiram will today formally declare the state as extreme poverty free.
How Kerala became India's first extreme poverty free state. And why this marks the first step in India's social revolution. Kerala has done it again. The state that has topped literacy as well as healthcare charts has one more added to its crown, where it has eradicated extreme poverty from across its state. Now, this is not just a state success, but this is something that could redefine India's social revolution. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and today we are going to understand not about just this feat that Kerala has achieved, but also understand that what it means, how it can be learned by other states, and how it will contribute to India's social revolution. Let us start with understanding what exactly is the landmark that we are talking about. So, Chief Minister of Kerala has gone ahead and announced that Kerala is now extreme poverty free. That means extreme poverty has been eradicated from the particular state, and 64,000 families which were in extreme distress, which were living in extreme poverty, have been lifted out of this situation. Now, this comes at a moment where Kerala has always been recognized not just for its literacy, healthcare, but recently it was the one to become the first digitally literate state as well. So, this is an important moment, but at the very same time, we have to understand that success of one state does not mean the success of the nation, because the picture looks very different in the other parts of the country, where extreme poverty, as per the estimates, still affects more than 5% population of our country, and when we talk about multidimensional poverty, the number goes above 20%. So, this is a start, yes, and this start will be significant to pushing other states and across the nation improvements that we can expect. So, to understand this better, first let us understand what exactly is extreme poverty. So, when we are talking about extreme poverty, we are talking about a situation in which a human being is not even able to manage the basic thing, the most basic things for survival, that is food, clothes, and a roof over his head. So, when we are talking about the basic human needs, that is food, shelter, and health. In this context, we are taking in education as well as sanitation. And the remarkable thing from Kerala's end is coming is the fact that they have not adopted only the monetary part of poverty to understand poverty. So, money is not the only parameter that it is going to use. It is focused on multi-dimensional poverty framework, which focuses on not just income but also health, education, sanitation, etc. So, if we are talking about poverty and we want to understand its definition, then you have to understand that definitions are based on the type. So, if we are talking about absolute poverty, then we have a simple benchmark by UN, that is anybody who is living on less than $2.15 per day, that person is to be considered extremely poor. And in this scenario, it might be applicable on multiple people who might be earning more than this, but they might be multidimensionally poor. I've used a term here, absolute poverty. Can you tell me in the comment section that what is meant by relative poverty? Now, what Kerala did so as to address this whole situation. So, first of all, to address the situation, you have to assess the situation, and to assess and understand, Kerala used a state level socio-economic indicator model to understand that what is the level of deprivation that exists across the state. And after that, policies were made. Now, let us understand and talk about them. So, the first step, as I said, was about to understand the expanse of the problem. So, for that, a comprehensive survey was conducted, and in this very survey, there was identification of 64,000 families which were facing multi-dimensional deprivation. And for the very same understanding, village level data was used so that interventions for these 64,000 families can be made and this situation can be appropriately addressed. Now after this, after understanding that what kind of problems exist, solutions were not made in order to one size fit all. Rather, they were tailor-made. That means customized based on the situation. So families received support because in order to address what they did not have. That means the core deprivation was understood through survey, and that was the thing that was addressed. For example, just let me simplify this for you. A family is lacking in terms of housing. So that was addressed. For example, a family has a basic house, but at the same time, they do not have access to education and health. Then in that situation, that was addressed. Maybe a family has a household and they have access to education, but at the same time, they have no income support or no employment opportunity. So in that order, that particular thing was addressed. So here the solutions were custom made based on the problems that the families were facing. And a major contribution comes from the flagship programs which were running in Kerala. For example, we have Life Mission that availed and facilitated households to all the landless people and homeless people. Then there was Ardram Mission where universal primary health care access was given. There was also provision for primary education where public education rejuvenation program was used and there was 100% school enrollment. And an important one which can be used in your case studies is the Kudumbashri, where women's self-help group were made so that employment and livelihood can be generated. Now to top all of this was synchronized in a way where local governance had a major role to play, where panchayats as well as these self-help group Kudumshri units, they monitored the implementation of these flagship missions, because this is an important part when we are talking about implementation itself, because policies are made and the implementation sits on the other side. If they are not coming together at one place, the outcome that we expect, that will not be able to see. Now in this context, we have understood that what exactly Kerala did. Now let us move on and put some lens onto the fact that were there any starters, were there any foundation that was available to Kerala? Yes, sir, there was. Kerala has always been known for its literacy rate, the primary healthcare system, recently the digital literacy, and all of this gave it a start push. So when we are talking about the high literacy, the awareness, empowerment and community participation facilitated. Furthermore, the health system, we get to know that there is the lowest infant mortality rate in the country that is present in India, Kerala, that is 6 per 1000 birth, and gender empowerment, and that is what Kerala makes top when we are talking about sustainable development goals. As per Niti Aayog's SDG index, Kerala has been one of the best performing states across the sustainable development goals. And when we are talking about sustainable development goal 1, that is ending poverty in all forms, Kerala has marked the stamp there as well. Now we get to see clearly that Kerala's model of human development is pretty much focused on capacity building. And the capacity building is not only oriented towards people or the population, it is also focused towards governance, where the governance has been more enabling because it has been decentralized. There has been more work towards local bodies, empowerment towards local bodies, so as to ensure the social welfare that we are talking about and the policies that are being made, they are actually able to reach the ground level. And another important factor is the political consensus, because we get to see in many states when one party leaves after an election and another party sets in, the consensus and the idea of welfare is very different, and that's why many policies are discontinued. But in this scenario, the political consensus on welfare has been very clear. All the successive governments, they have been pretty much focused towards human development. So we get to see, as I said, Kerala's model depends on capability and capacity building, and the focus has been expanding the access for education, for health, for livelihoods, so that inevitably there is a circle where inclusion does happen. Now, when we have understood that how this milestone has been achieved, now let us move on and understand in detail why this milestone matters so much. This milestone matters so much because it has shown that welfare lying at the priority, at the highest priority, can work wonders for the state, and it can work as a growth engine. So Kerala has clearly gone ahead and proven that social welfare can easily drive our sustainable growth. We need to go beyond just numbers. That means beyond GDP thinking will work. If we talk about Amartya Sen's human capability approach, which was the Nobel Prize winning approach, we have to understand this development means freedom from deprivation of all kind, and this has been very well understood. Furthermore, this model is such that it can be understood as Kerala model and it can be replicated. That means we have welfare, but we have dignity as well, and it shows that federal India can actually achieve equity if it works towards it. So here we are not getting something that has been done in a unique manner, which is absolutely impossible to replicate. It is possible to replicate, and we have seen it replicated because this is a replica of Nordic style social democracy, which has been adapted with some Indian requirements, some Indian touches, and when it can be replicated from the Europe till here, then why not from Kerala to other states? Now let us understand that what other states can pick from here and implement in order to go ahead and move better in terms of sustainable development as well and welfare definitely. So here we have to understand that targeted identification, that means assessment and understanding the problem is something very important, and that will happen only when there is proper surveys, there is a proper data. So we have to move beyond just lines, that is below poverty line, above poverty line, and understand the problems at the household level, what kind of deprivation exists, and that can be done only through data. Apart from that, the focus needs to move towards integration in terms of social policy. That means there can't be 10 social policies working in 10 different directions. That means we have to bring health, housing, education and livelihoods at one place where all of these are integrated, and there is some customization based on the needs of the population. Apart from that, the local governance empowerment, this is a case study where there has been decentralized decision making, where there is more power to panchayats as well as self-help groups, which not only empower them but also help in social welfare delivery. Apart from that, monitoring, when we are talking about assessment, the next steps comes planning and policy making. Once that is done, how to understand if what we have planned, what policy has been thought of, if that outcome will be achieved or not, that will be done through monitoring. It would need to use social audits, real-time tracking, so that there is proper transparency that is maintained, and people also get to know where their money is going, where the taxpayers' money is being used, and it is actually uplifting the state. And importantly, one thing that we understood how Kerala did it was through political consensus. Understanding that priorities in terms of social welfare should not differ for political parties. That means poverty alleviation, something that is as basic as that, should be a development mission for all the parties, irrespective what background, what agendas they are coming up with. It seems that Kerala has gone way ahead, but it still has challenges, and the CM has also marked that we don't say that we have eliminated all the challenges, but with this milestone, it seems like Kerala is determined to address the problems in the right way. So when we talk about challenges, some challenges such as relative poverty, because we have just talked about eradication of extreme poverty. Then we have youth unemployment. This ranks highest in India with an average of 15%, and because of the policies, there is a huge fiscal stress which will affect not just now but the long-term welfare funding. And another important challenge that is knocking on Kerala's door is the aging population. So as much as Kerala needs to focus on today, it also needs to focus on tomorrow, and which should be a lesson for other states as well, because there is a need for very strong social security nets in the coming days for this very aging population. Now that was all from my side. I'll be leaving with you a practice question here. You can put down your answers in the comment section. I'll reveal the answer in my next video. Now I'll show you the answer for yesterday's question that we did. The answer here will be A. You can check the answer and let me know in the comment section. That was all. Thank you so much.